the operations room of the human ship. Endurance was quiet except for the soft hum of machines and the occasional beep. From a console, Captain John Smith stood with his arms crossed, eyes fixed on the big main screen. A weak repeating signal had come from very far away. It cut through the empty space like a cry for help, even with the strain. Alien code, the meaning was easy to understand. Help us. Predators are coming, we cannot survive. Lieutenant Emma Johnson sat at the communication station. She was young with short brown hair and quick fingers on her controls. She turned her chair toward the captain. This is not a normal Federation distress call, sir. The language is old and different. The coordinates show a system we have never visited. The people there call themselves the Zelari. They are barely able to travel between stars. Their ships are slow and small. Commander Robert Williams moved closer to a different screen that showed sensor data. He was tall and calm with gray starting to show in his dark hair. He pointed at several bright dots moving toward a small blue-green planet. Look at their home world. It has low gravity, lots of plants, clean water, and mild weather. A very nice place, but the signal keeps talking about predators. Those large signatures on scan are not friendly ships. They are closing in fast on the Zelari space stations and defense platforms. John Smith stayed silent for a moment. He was not a tall man, but he carried himself with steady confidence. His blue eyes did not leave the screen. He had seen many strange things in his years among the stars. Humans were known across the galaxy as Deathworlders. Their home planet Earth had been cruel, full of sharp teeth, poison, storms, disease, and ice ages. Humans survived it all. They grew strong because danger never let them rest. Other species called them terrifying. Some called them monsters, but John knew the truth. Humans also helped when they could. Send them a reply, he said in a clear voice. Use simple words. Tell them the ship Endurance is coming to help. We will arrive as soon as possible. He turned to the navigation officer. Daniel Miller, plot the fastest jump path, check fuel and jump drive status. Daniel, a cheerful man with red hair and many freckles, nodded quickly. Aye, Captain, jump drive is green. We can make the trip in one long jump if we push the engines a little. ETA about 18 hours ship time. The bridge crew looked at each other. Few raised eyebrows. Going to help strangers was not unusual for humans, but rushing toward unknown predators was risky. The Endurance was an exploration vessel, not a heavy warship. It had good weapons, rail guns, missiles, point defense lasers, but it was built for long trips and science, not big fleet battles. Emma sent the message. Her fingers moved fast over the keys. The reply went out in plain trade language mixed with basic mathematical patterns that most thinking species could understand. This is human ship Endurance. We heard your call for help. We are coming. Hold on. A few minutes passed in silence. Then the console lit up again. A new signal came back, weaker than before, full of static. Emma played it over the speakers. The voice was high and thin, almost like music mixed with fear. You answer. We thought no one would come. The hunters are many. They take everything. Our stations burn. Our people hide in shelters. Please hurry. We have little time left. John felt something tighten in his chest. He had heard fear like that Before, on colony worlds hit by pirates. On ships lost in iron storms, on stations. Attacked by raiders. Fear sounded the same, no matter the species. Robert pulled up more scan data. The predators use sharp black ships. Angular design like knives, they move. In tight groups, very disciplined, they hit one target, destroy it completely. Then move to the next. No prisoners, no talks, just attack and kill. Sounds like they enjoy the hunt. Sophia Davis, the chief engineer, walked onto the bridge from the rear door. She wiped grease from her hands with a rag. She was short, strong, with black hair tied back. Engines are ready for the jump, Captain. I can give you extra power if you want to shave 2 hours off the trip, but the drive will run hot. Do it, John said. We don't have time to play safe. Sophia gave a small nod and left to prepare her team. Matthew Jones, the tactical officer, stood at his station near the weapons console. He was quiet most of the time, but very good at his job. Sir, if we drop out of jump close to the planet, we can use the gas giant for cover. The rings will hide our approach. Gives us a chance to see the situation before they see us. Good thinking, John replied. Make it so. The crew worked fast. No one joked much. Everyone understood the stakes. The Zalari were not soldiers. Their ships were built for transport and science, not war. Their weapons were light. Their armor was thin. Against a pack of killers, they had almost no chance. John walked to the front of the bridge and looked at the star map. The Zalari system was marked in soft blue. The approaching predator signatures glowed red. He thought about his own childhood on Earth, stories of wolves circling villages in winter, stories of sharks following blood in the ocean. Humans had learned early, when something hunts the weak, someone has to stand up and become the bigger predator. Attention all hands, he said over the shipwide channel. His voice was calm but firm. We are jumping to answer a distress call. Unknown hostile fleet is attacking a peaceful species. We will do what we can to protect them. This is not a fight we asked for, but it is a fight we will not run from. Departments report ready status, secure for jump. One by one stations called in. Engineering green, weapons green, medical green, life support green, navigation green. Emma looked up from her console. The Zalari sent another short burst. Just 3 words repeated, thank you. Thank you, thank you. John gave a small nod. They are still alive, that is good. The jump drive began to hum louder. A low vibration ran through the deck plates. Lights dimmed slightly as power shifted to the big engines. Stars on the main screen stretched into long white lines. Jump in 3, 2, 1, Daniel announced. Reality folded. The Endurance slipped out of normal space and into the strange gray tunnel of hyperspace. Inside the ship, everything felt normal. But outside, time and distance had no meaning. John sat in the captain's chair. He did not relax. His mind was already running through possible plans. If the predators were raiders, maybe they could be scared off. If they were something worse, something that hunted for sport, then words would not help. Weapons would. He looked at his crew, Emma checking signals, Robert watching scans, Daniel at the helm, Matthew ready on weapons, Sophia down in engineering keeping the heart of the ship beating strong. They were not perfect, they argued. Sometimes they got tired, they missed Home, but when it mattered, they worked. As one, that was the human way. 18 hours felt long when lives were on the line, but the ship flew fast. Stars waited on the other side. Somewhere in the dark, a small species held their breath, hoping the death worlders would arrive before the hunters finished their work. The Endurance came out of hyperspace with a soft shudder. The gray tunnel of jump space vanished, and the stars snapped back into sharp points. Right away, the main view screen filled with the Zalari system. It was beautiful and terrible at the same time. The small blue-green planet hung in the center like a jewel. 2 moons floated nearby, one large, one tiny. Around the larger moon, bright defense platforms and small stations glowed with emergency lights. Thin trails of smoke and debris drifted in slow arcs. Black, sharp-edged ships moved among them like dark walls circling wounded prey. Captain John Smith stood at the front of the bridge, his hands rested lightly on the rail. He did not speak right away, he just watched. Lieutenant Emma Johnson broke the quiet. First, we are picking up dozens of distress beacons, sir. Most from the orbital habitats. Zalari fleet, what is left of it, is down to maybe 6 small ships. They are trying to shield the main civilian station, but they are losing ground fast. Commander Robert Williams zoomed the tactical display. Red dots marked the Predator ships. There were 27 of them still fighting. Some were small and fast, darting into fire and pulled away. Others were bigger, heavy cruisers with long forward spines that looked like teeth. They fired in short, precise bursts, bright blue plasma that cut through armor like paper. Those ships are built for one thing, Robert said, hunting. No waste, no mercy. They hit weak points, disable engines first, then finish the job. Textbook bag tactics. Daniel Miller kept his hand steady on the helm. We dropped out behind the gas giant. Just like planned, the rings give us good cover. They have not spotted us yet. John nodded once. Keep us dark, no active scans, passive only. Let's see what we are dealing with. Matthew Jones at Tactical adjusted his controls. His face was calm, but his eyes moved fast over the data. Their shields are energy-based, not too thick. Our railguns should punch through. At medium range, missiles will do better. Up close, their point defense looks decent but not great against saturation attacks. Sophia Davis's voice came over the intercom from engineering. We are running quiet, Captain. Engines at minimal, weapons hot but cold. Barrels ready when you are. On the view screen, one of the Zalari defense platforms exploded. A silent flash lit up the moon's surface. Pieces spun away in every direction. A high musical cry came over the open channel. Panic and grief mixed together. Emma's fingers froze for a second on her console, then she spoke softly. That was their main relay station. They just lost most of their long-range comms. John felt the weight of every eye on the bridge turn to him. He took a slow breath. Open a channel to the Zalari, wide beam. Let the Predators hear it too. Emma sent the signal. John stepped forward and spoke clearly. This is Captain John Smith of the human exploration vessel Endurance. We received your call for help. We are here. Identify your command ship. We will coordinate with you. For a long moment, nothing came back, except static and distant weapon fire. Then a voice answered, high, trembling. but trying to stay strong. This is High Warden Lyra of the Zellari. Conquered, we see you on passive. Sensors now, you are behind the gas. Giant thank the stars, the hunters have. Taken 3 habitats already, thousands. Are gone, they show no interest in talk. They only destroy. John kept his voice even, we understand. Tell your remaining ships to pull back. Toward your main civilian station, form. A tight defensive globe, do not chase. The hunters, we will handle the rest. Lyra's voice cracked a little, you are. Only one ship, they are many, one ship. Is enough if it is, in the right place. John said, trust us, we have done this. Before, he cut the channel and turned to his crew. They are scared, they think we are crazy. For coming, that works for us. Hunters will think the same. Robert raised an eyebrow, plan. John pointed at the tactical map. The predators are spread out, they chase. Easy targets, we give them something. Easy to chase. Then we hit them hard when they bite. Matthew smiled for the first time. Decoys. Exactly, John said. Launch 6 recon. Probes. Program them to mimic civilian. Transports, fake heat signatures slow. Engines, broadcasting distress on open. Channels, make them look like they are running for the jump point, Daniel chuckled quietly, they will love that. Predators can't resist a fleeing meal. While they chase the probes, John continued, we stay hidden in the rings. When at least half their force commits to the chase, we move, fast and quiet at first, then full burn, we come out on their flank close range, rail guns. First, then missiles, we take out engines and weapons, leave them dead in space, no need to destroy every ship. Just make them stop. Emma looked up, what if they don't take the bait? Then we adjust, John said, but I think they will, look at their pattern. They hunt in packs. They get excited when prey runs. The bridge crew moved with purpose. Probes were prepped and launched one by one. Each probe lit up its engines and sent out fake distress calls. Mayday. Mayday, civilian transport the lorry. Hope engines failing, request immediate assistance. The Predator fleet reacted almost at once. 3 squadrons, 9 ships broke formation and turned toward the probes. The rest kept pressing the Zellari stations, but their attention was split. Robert watched the display. They took the bait, 9 ships chasing the decoys. The big cruisers are still on the stations, but they sent their fast hunters. John gave the order, hold position, let them get deeper into the trap. Minutes passed. The probes led the hunters farther away, drawing them past the gas giant's outer rings. The Endurance drifted silently, hidden by ice and dust. Sophia reported from engineering, we are ready for full power, overcharge on the rail guns if you want it, just say the word. John waited, he watched the numbers tick down, distance, speed, commitment. Finally he spoke, now. Daniel pushed the throttle forward. The Endurance's engines roared to life. The ship surged out of the rings like a shark breaking from cover. Hull plates glowed red from the sudden heat. Weapons batteries charged with a rising wind. The Predators chasing the probes were caught flat-footed. They were too far from their main group, too focused on easy kills. Matthew locked targets, rail guns online, firing solution set. John's voice was steady, all batteries fire. The Endurance spoke, long streaks of kinetic slugs left the rail guns at terrible speed. They crossed the distance in seconds. The first enemy cruiser took 3 direct hits along its spine, armor cracked, atmosphere vented in white. Clouds, secondary explosions bloomed along its length. The hunters tried to turn, but they were slow to react. Another volley followed. 2 more ships lost engines, 1 spun wildly out of control. Emma monitored the Zalori channel. They are cheering, sir. They say the Death Worlders have come. They are calling you. Legends already. John did not smile. Legends don't win fights. Focus. The main Predator force noticed the change. The big cruisers pulled away from the stations and started to turn toward the new threat. But they were late. The Endurance was already moving fast, closing the gap. Daniel danced the ship through drifting wreckage, keeping the angle sharp. They are bringing their heavies to bear. Plasma cannons charging, Daniel relayed. Robert called out, shields up, incoming. Bright blue bolts lashed across space. Most missed, a few struck the Endurance's forward shields. The deck shivered, warning lights flashed. Shields at 82%, Matthew reported. Holding. John leaned forward, closer, we want them in knife range. The ship accelerated harder. The distance shrank. The Predators fired. Again, more hits. Sparks flew in a side corridor, but damage control teams were already moving. Sophia's voice crackled over comms. We can take a few more. Just don't let them focus fire too long. The Endurance answered with its own teeth, missiles launched and spreading waves, point defense lasers on the enemy. Ships tried to stop them, but there were too many. Explosions rippled across black holes. 1 heavy cruiser lost half its weapon arrays. Another vented fire from its drive section. The hunters started to break. Some tried to run, others turned to fight, but the pack was no longer perfect. Confusion spread. John watched it all. Keep the pressure on. Do not let them regroup. The battle was not over. The Predators were still dangerous, but for the first time the Zalori had hope, and the Death Worlders had arrived. The battle around the Zalori moons turned sharp and fast. The Endurance moved like a hunter that had waited too long. Its engines burned bright as it closed the gap on the scattered Predator ships. Black holes that once looked unstoppable now showed cracks and glowing wounds from the first rail gun strikes. Captain John Smith stood steady on the bridge. His eyes followed every red dot on the tactical screen. Keep our nose pointed at their weak side, he said. Do not give them a clean shot at our engines. Daniel Miller worked the controls with quick, sure hands. The ship rolled left, then dove under a cloud of drifting metal. A plasma bolt from a heavy cruiser passed so close that the view screen flared white for a second. Daniel grinned a little. They are trying, but we are slippery today. Matthew Jones locked more targets. 2 fast hunters breaking off to flank us. I have them firing rail guns. The ship shook gently as the weapon spoke again. Long metal slugs crossed the empty space in straight lines. 1 hit the lead hunter ship square in the engine bell. Fire bloomed silent and bright. The ship spun slowly, lights flickering out one by one. The second hunter tried to turn away, but a follow-up shot caught its bridge section. It drifted dead. Emma Johnson listened to the open channels. The Zaloni are holding better now, sir. Their small ships are staying tight around the civilian station. They say the hunters are pulling back some forces to deal with us. They are calling this the moment the death. Worlders woke up, Robert Williams. Watch the bigger picture, we have their attention, 10 of their ships are turning to face us full on. The rest are still trying to finish the stations, but they are slower now. They are not used to prey that fights back this hard. John gave a short nod. Good, let us keep them busy. Sophia, how are we holding? Sophia Davis answered from engineering. Her voice sounded tired but strong. Shields at 64% forward. We have some hull breaches on deck 4, but teams are sealing them. Rail guns are hot but okay. I can give you one more overcharge burst if you need it. After that we cool or risk melting. Something, save it for when we really need it, John said. We are going in. Closer. The Endurance pushed forward. It flew straight at the center of the enemy formation. The Predators opened fire with everything they had. Blue plasma streaks filled the space between the ships. Some hit the shields and made them glow orange, others missed and burned. Harmless holes in the dark. Shields dropping fast, Matthew called. 42%. Daniel twisted the ship again. He rolled it sideways so the damaged forward section faced away from the heaviest fire. Got us a better angle. John watched the range numbers drop. Missiles now, full spread target. Engines and weapon mounts, make them limp. Matthew pressed the launch keys. Dozens of small missiles leaped from the ship's tubes. They spread out like a net of fire. The Predator point defense lasers tried to shoot them down, but there were too many. Explosions flashed across black hulls. One cruiser lost both main engines in a single bright blast. Another had its forward cannons torn away. Smoke and sparks poured from the holes. The hunters started to break apart. Some ships tried to run toward the jump point. Others turned to fight harder as if anger made them braver. A large battleship, the biggest one, pushed straight at the Endurance, its main gun charged with a deep red glow. That one wants to end this, Robert said. John did not blink. Meet him head on. Rail guns maximum rate, everything we have. The two big ships closed fast. Endurance fired first. A storm of slugs hammered the battleship's nose. Armor plates flew off in chunks. The red glow on the enemy gun flickered and died. The battleship answered with a desperate plasma volley. It struck the Endurance hard. The whole ship lurched. Lights dimmed. Screamed. Shields gone forward. Matthew shouted. Direct hits on armor. We are leaking air on decks 2 and 3. Sophia cut in fast. Bulkheads holding. I am rerouting power. Give me 30 seconds. And I can bring emergency shields up. John kept his voice calm. Daniel, take us under their belly, close as you can. Matthew, point defense only until we are inside their minimum range. Daniel pushed the ship into a sharp dive. The Endurance slipped under the battleship like a knife under skin. At this range, the Predator's deck guns could not track fast enough, but the Endurance's smaller weapons could. Point defense lasers and short range cannons raked the enemy's underside. Armor peeled away. Fuel lines burst. The battleship started to roll out of control. Finish it, John said quietly. Matthew sent one last missile spread. Missiles found the open wounds. A chain of explosions ran along the battleship's length. The core breached, a silent white flower. A fire grew and swallowed the ship. Hold. The bridge crew let out a breath they did not know they were holding. Emma looked up. The remaining hunters are breaking off. They are running for the edge of the system. They are not regrouping. They are just fleeing. Robert checked the scans. 15 of their ships destroyed or disabled. The rest are jumping out one by one. We hurt them bad. John finally sat back in his chair. His shoulders relaxed a little. Status report all stations. One by one the crew answered. Damage control had sealed most breaches. Medical reported only minor injuries. Bumps and burns from sparks. Engineering was working on shields and engines. Life support was stable. Sophia came up to the bridge a few minutes later. She looked worn out, but she smiled. We are not pretty, but we are still flying. Give us a few hours, and we can jump home as needed. John turned to the view screen. The Zalari civilian station still stood. Small repair drones moved around if like bees. The remaining Zalari ships formed a loose ring around it, no longer fighting for their lives. A new signal came in. Emma put it on the main speakers. The voice was the same high musical tone as before. High Warden Lyra spoke slowly as if choosing each word with care. Captain John Smith, Endurance crew, you have done what we thought impossible. Our people live because of you. Our homes still stand. The hunters are gone. We have no words big enough to thank you, but we will try. Please come closer. Let us meet face to face. Let us show our gratitude in person. John looked at his crew. They looked tired, dirty from smoke and sweat, but proud. He gave a small nod. Emma, tell them we accept. We will approach slowly. No weapons hot. Robert, prepare a shuttle team. Just a few of us, no heavy gear. This is about trust now. Daniel eased the ship forward. The Endurance moved gently toward the Zalari station. No one fired. No alarms sounded. The space around them felt different. Less heavy, less angry. As they drew near, the view screen showed the Zalari more clearly. Tall, thin beings with skin that glowed soft silver in the starlight. Large eyes, long fingers. They stood at viewports and waved small lights in patterns of thanks. John stood up. Let us go meet them. We answered the call. Now we finish what we started. The crew prepared. They did not know what would come next, but they knew one thing. The predators had come to hunt, and instead they met something worse. They met humans. And the Zalari would never forget the day the Deathworlders answered their cry. The shuttle from the Endurance moved slowly toward the main Zalari civilian station. It was a small craft, just big enough for 6 people. Captain John Smith sat in the front seat, next to Daniel Miller, who flew with careful hands. Behind them sat Emma Johnson, Robert Williams, Matthew Jones, and Sophia Davis. No one wore heavy armor. They carried only sidearms, kept low and out of sight. This visit was about peace, not more fighting. The station grew larger on the view screen. It looked like a giant silver wheel turning slowly against the black of space. Lights blinked in patterns along its outer ring. Small repair ships darted around fixing broken parts. The Zalari had started to clean up the damage from the battle. Smoke no longer rose from the habitats. Instead, soft blue glows came from the viewports, as if the people inside were lighting candles to welcome friends. Daniel lined up with the docking arm. They are guiding us in, nice and easy. A gentle bump told them the shuttle had locked on. The airlock hissed as pressure equalized. The inner door slid open. A group of Zalari waited on the other side. They were taller than humans, with thin bodies and long arms. Their skin shone like polished silver. Under the station lights, large dark eyes watched everything. No mouths moved when they spoke. The sound came from small devices on their necks that turned thoughts into sound waves. Their leader stepped forward high. Warden Lyra. She wore a simple robe that changed color slowly like water under sunlight. Captain John Smith, she said. The voice was soft and clear. We welcome you. We welcome all of you. Come, please. John stepped out first. He kept his hands open at his sides. Thank you for having us, High Warden. Lyra, we are glad your people are safe. Lyra bowed her head low. Because of you, because of your ship, because of your courage, follow me. The walls were smooth and curved, made of a material that felt warm to the touch. Soft lights followed them, brightening as they moved. Zolari of all ages watched from doorways and platforms. Some held small children close, others waved thin fingers in slow, grateful patterns. No one spoke loud. The air felt calm for the first time in many days. They reached a large open room at the center of the station. It had a high ceiling made of clear material. Stars shone through it. In the middle stood a round table with chairs that looked too tall for humans. Zolari helpers quickly brought lower seats and placed cushions so the guests could sit comfortably. Lyra sat across from John. Her large eyes studied him. We have many questions, but first we must say what is in our hearts. Our sensors saw everything. Your ship came from hiding like a storm. You struck the hunters when they thought they had one. You did not ask for payment. You did not wait for permission. You simply acted. That is not normal in our galaxy. John leaned forward a little. Our world taught us something long ago. When comes for the weak, someone has to stand up. If no one does, the danger grows. We could not stay away after we heard your call. Emma smiled softly. Your message reached us clearly. We understood the fear in it. We know that fear. Lyra's skin shifted to a warmer silver tone. We have heard stories about your kind, Deathworlders, beings from a place so hard that nothing else survives there long. Some say you are monsters. Some say you destroy without reason. But today we saw the truth. You protect, you save. You give hope. Robert spoke quietly. We are not monsters. We just do not run from hard things. Our home tried to kill us every day. Cold winters, hot deserts, animals with teeth and poison, storms that tear houses apart. And we learned that helping others makes the fight worth it. One of the younger Zalari, a female with brighter skin, stepped closer. Her name was Myra. She carried a small crystal device. May I show you something? She asked. John nodded. Myra placed the crystal on the table. It lit up. A hologram appeared above it. The image showed the battle from the Zalari view. The Black Hunter ships closing in. Zalari vessels trying to shield the station. Explosions. Then the Endurance appeared from the rings, fast, bright, unstoppable. Railgun flashes, missile trails, the hunters breaking apart, the big battleship blooming into fire. The hologram ended. The room stayed Quiet. Myra spoke again. We recorded this to remember. We will share it with every Zalari world, so our children know who came when no one else would. Sophia looked at the fading hologram. We did not do it for fame, we did it because it was right. Liara stood up slowly. We wish to offer something in return. Not payment, a bond. Our people have knowledge of old stars and hidden paths. Between them, we have medicines that heal fast. We have ways to grow food in places where nothing should grow. If you will accept, we want to share these things with you, and we want to learn from you how to be stronger, how to stand when hunters come. John looked at his crew. They all gave small nods. We accept, he said, not as masters or rulers, as friends. We will share what we know, and we will listen to what you know. The Zalari made a soft sound, like wind through leaves. It was their way of showing joy. Miera brought trays of food, small clear bowls held fruits that glowed faintly, cups of warm liquid that smelled sweet. The humans tasted carefully. The flavors were strange but good, light and clean, like rain on leaves. As they ate, talk turned lighter. Daniel asked about Zalari children. Emma asked about their music. Matthew asked how their shields worked. Sophia talked engines with a Zalari engineer who joined them. Robert listened to stories of their old home world before the hunters came. Hours passed. The stars turned slowly outside the clear ceiling. Finally John stood. We must return to our ship soon. Repairs are not finished, and our people will want to know we are safe. Liara rose with him. Before you go, one more thing. She led them to a small side room. Inside stood a tall pillar of smooth stone. On it rested a single object, a piece of black hull from a hunter ship. It was twisted and burned. Someone had carved simple mark into it, a circle with lines like a sun rising. This is from their flagship, Lyra said. We took it after the battle ended. We keep it here to remember, not to hate, to remember that even hunters can lose, and to remember who made them lose. She touched the stone gently. We will add your mark beside it if you allow. John looked at the pillar, then at his crew. We allow. Matthew stepped forward. He took a small tool from his belt and carved a simple shape next to the circle, a rough outline of earth with one straight line cutting across it like a sword. It was not fancy, but it was honest. Lyra looked at the marks side by side. 2 stories on one stone, hunter and protector, past and future. They walked back to the docking arm. Zolari lined the corridor now. They did not cheer loud. They simply raised their hands in slow waves. Soft blue lights followed the humans all the way. At the shuttle door, Lyra stopped. Captain, if hunters ever return, call us. We will stand with you. John met her eyes. And if you need us again, send the call. We will answer. The shuttle door closed, the airlock sealed. Daniel flew them back to the Endurance. When they docked, the bridge crew waited. Everyone looked tired but smiling. Emma checked the sensors. The remaining hunter ships are long gone, no signals coming back. They are not coming for round 2 anytime soon. Robert looked at John. What now, Captain? John sat in his chair. Repairs rest, then we head home, but first log everything, every detail. Federation will want to know what happened here. He paused and send a message to Earth. Command, tell them the Zalari are allies. Now tell them a new door opened today. He looked outside. The Zalari station turned slowly. Lights still glowed in thanks. Inside the Endurance, the crew began their work. They were bruised, they were sore, but they were proud. They had come as strangers, they left as friends. And somewhere in the galaxy, a small species no longer feared the dark quite so much, because they knew if danger came again, the Deathworlders would answer. The Endurance pulled away from the Zalari station slowly. Its engines glowed soft blue as it turned toward the outer edge of the system. The big silver wheel of the civilian habitat grew smaller on the view screen. Lights still blinked in patterns of thanks. Small Zalari ships followed for a short distance, then turned back like friends, waving goodbye from a doorway. Captain John Smith sat in his chair on the bridge. He looked tired. Lines showed around his eyes that had not been there before the fight. But he sat straight. His crew worked quietly around him. Everyone moved with purpose. No one rushed. The battle was over. Now came the slow work of going home. Emma Johnson checked the long-range sensors first. No hunter signatures anywhere, sir. They jumped out and did not come back. The system is quiet. Robert Williams ran final damage reports. Hull repairs are holding. We lost 20% of forward armor. Deck 4 still has some weak spots, but seals are good. Life support is at full. Engines are running clean. Daniel Miller kept his hands light on the helm. Jump point is clear. We can make the run home in one jump if we want. Or take it slow and let engineering finish the cool down. Sophia Davis came up from below decks. Her coveralls were dirty with grease and burn marks. She wiped her hands on a rag. Give me 6 hours. I want to run one more. Full diagnostic on the jump drive. We pushed it hard coming in. Better safe. John nodded. 6 hours it is. No rush now. The crew took the time. Some went to the mess hall for real food, not emergency packs. Others slept in short shifts. Matthew Jones stayed at tactical, watching the empty space behind them, just in case. In the quiet hours, John walked the corridors alone. He passed repair teams welding plates back into place. Sparks flew like small stars. He stopped at a viewport and looked out. The Zalari turned below, peaceful again. Clouds moved slow across green lands. Oceans caught starlight. It looked like Earth from far away, but softer, less angry. He thought about the fight, about the black ships, about the fear in Lyra's voice when they first answered, about the carved stone pillar with two marks side by side, hunter and protector. He felt no pride, just a quiet knowing. They had done what needed doing. Back on the bridge 6 hours later, Sophia gave the all clear. Jump drive is green. We are ready. Daniel plotted the course. Straight run to Federation Relay Station. Gamma 7. From there we can send full reports and get clearance home. John stood up. Attention all hands, we are jumping out. Secure stations. This trip home is for rest and repair. Good work everyone, you made a difference today. The jump drive hummed, power flowed. Stars stretched into lines. The Endurance slipped away from the Zalari system. Inside hyperspace, time felt strange. Clocks still worked, but days blurred. The crew used the time well. They wrote reports. They fixed what was broken. They talked. In the mess hall one evening, Emma sat With Daniel and Matthew, they ate simple food, soup, and bread from the galley. Daniel spoke first. I keep thinking about those kids we saw at the station, the little ones with the big eyes. They waved like we were heroes. From a story. Emma smiled. We were to them. Matthew stayed quiet for a moment. Then he said, I thought we might not make it. When the shields dropped and that battleship came straight at us, I really thought that was it. Daniel looked at him, but it wasn't. No, Matthew said it wasn't. They finished eating in silence, not a bad silence, the kind that comes after something big. John spent time in his ready room. He recorded a personal log. His voice was low and steady. Day 23, mission complete. The Zalori are safe. The hunter fleet is broken and scattered. Casualties on our side were light, 3. Crew with broken bones, a dozen minor burns, no deaths. The ship took damage, but nothing we cannot fix. We have a new ally, a good one. They offered knowledge and friendship. We accepted. Earth Command will decide what comes next, but I believe this is the start of something bigger. He stopped the recording, then he added one more line. I am proud of this crew, they answered the call. They did not hesitate. When the Endurance dropped out of jump at Gamma 7, a small Federation relay station greeted them. It was just a metal cylinder with antennas and docking arms. No big welcome party, but the station commander sent a direct message. Endurance, this is Gamma 7 Control. We received your initial report. Earth Command has been briefed. They want full debrief in person. You are cleared for priority transit home. Safe journey. John answered simply, understood, thank you. Gamma 7, Endurance out. The last jump felt longer. Everyone was ready to see blue skies and green fields again, to feel real gravity, to breathe air that did not come from machines. When they finally entered Earth's system, the blue marble filled the view screen. Clouds swirled over oceans. Continents stretched wide. Home. Traffic control guided them in. Endurance slipped into low orbit. Shuttles waited to take the crew down. But first, John gathered everyone on the bridge. He looked at each face. Emma, Robert, Daniel, Sophia, Matthew, the others who worked behind the scenes. Engineers, medics, cooks, all of them. You did not just save a planet, he said. You showed the galaxy what humans can be, not just survivors, not just fighters, helpers, protectors, friends. Whatever comes next, more calls, more hunters, more unknowns, we will face it together, like we always do. No one clapped, no one cheered loud. They just nodded, small smiles, a few tired laughs. Shuttles took them down, one group at a time. John was last. He stood at the airlock and looked back at the ship. The Endurance had dents and scorch marks, but it still looked strong. On the surface, they stepped onto a landing pad near the main spaceport. Fresh air hit them, wind from the sea, smell of grass and salt. People waited. Families, friends, officers in clean uniforms. John walked down the ramp. Last, a young officer saluted. Captain Smith, welcome home. Earth Command wants you in debrief at 800 tomorrow, but tonight rest. John returned the salute. Thank you. He looked up at the sky. Stars were faint against the city lights. Somewhere out there, the Zalari were rebuilding. Somewhere out there, a carved pillar stood with 2 marks on it. He turned and walked toward the waiting transport. His crew followed. They were Tired, they were bruised, but they walked tall because they had answered a call from far away. They had fought. They had won, and they had made the galaxy a little less dark. Months later, reports came back. The Zalari shared their old star maps. Humans sent teachers and doctors. Trade began small at first, then bigger. Zalari ships visited Earth. Human ships visited Zalari worlds. Story spread. The day the Deathworlders came, the day one ship changed everything. John Smith never spoke much about it. He went on other missions. He trained new crews, but sometimes late at night he looked at the stars and remembered. He remembered a high musical voice saying thank you. He remembered fear turning to hope. He remembered that even in a big, cold galaxy, one answer could make all the difference. And he knew if another call ever came, they would answer again. Because that was who they were. Humans, Deathworlders, protectors, friends.